This challenge was more challenging than I anticipated, and you tell me if we did it. 7 self-portraits in 7 days. Good morrow. If you're new, I am Slew. Welcome to my studio. You know I love to paint. I'm really passionate about painting and drawing, and one of my things I hold dear to myself is sort of maintaining my creative practice. I like to come up with little challenges and videos to continue to just draw. Help me draw. Make it exciting. We're doing another challenge. I do a lot of self-portraits, or I have in the past. I got my friend Chris to come over to the studio and help me take some quick pictures just for photo reference. Some really wacky ones. You know, I'm not really concerned with how I look. It's more of the lighting, the dynamicism of the portrait as me as the subject. But you know, they got some cool creative lighting. They got some rim light similar to me right now with a key light, just, you know, very basic but strong dynamic shots. And we're gonna paint them, but I'm gonna do one every day. So that's sort of the goal, a 2-hour sketch every day on top of all of the other work I have to do in the studio. It's busy with the holiday season, so this is just 2 hours extra every day on top of it. Today is November 14th. I know a few of these days I'll be really busy and not want to do the portrait, but we're gonna suck it up. Ninja boy, Chris. It's great. There's almost too much of this. I want the rim to be just like, yeah, like a hairline, and that's where the more behind it is, you know, like you could see, like if I'm like this, you see it like just like a glint halo. We'll do like a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then during those 1, 2, I'll change faces and change directions. So you're just ripping and I'm dipping. So as you can see, we're getting all set up. A simple little drawing setup, nothing crazy, just got a drawing board, iPad right in front of me. You know, it's just a conducive area to draw. I've been liking this setup recently. So I'm starting with like the most simple, normal portrait just to start with something simple. So I was really excited for this challenge for a few reasons. One, because I knew I was gonna be kind of forced to be consistent, and if I stayed true to that consistency, there would be a lot of opportunity to test myself and test new techniques and to develop sort of this new style. I mean, it's not that dramatic, but you know, I really was looking to use these portraits as sort of stylized practice. So I'm following the reference, of course. I wouldn't be able to draw these self-portraits without referring to the reference, but to not follow the reference exactly, to idealize shapes, or, you know, not cheat, but make up my own, you know, light and shadow. There's a lot of detailed oriented places like the crease of the eyes, or, you know, where the chin and reflected light are, and the mustache, and sort of not follow exactly what I see. I was kind of saying on Instagram that, you know, drawing and sketching is like the old version of face tuning. So I think this portrait of me looks extremely young, but it's stylized, and I was really enjoying using, you know, this sort of technique with smudging with the pastel marker, and I was just really amped, and it took a lot shorter than I thought. It's already day 2, and I don't want to draw because I have so many other things I need to work on. But here's some new hoodies, by the way. These might have to come out after Christmas, sadly. I'm still figuring it out. I don't know when this video is coming out. No sponsor for today's video, just the merch. Go check it out. 15% off still, store-wide on my website using code BFSLEW, the Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals. I'm just letting it ride. The hoodies, yeah, I don't know if they're gonna come out after Christmas or before, not really sure, but there's a bunch of good prints and everything there. You know, sometimes I think painting is by far the most fun and what I get excited about, and drawing usually in my creative repertoire is sort of like my least favorite thing. A lot of times I'll do sketches before the big paintings, and it will be my least favorite stage. I just want to go straight to the painting. And I think those desires are based off how successful I am with, you know, my projects or pieces I'm working on. And for the most part, I think I'm a stronger painter than draftsman or illustrator. But recently, in the last like maybe 4, 5, 6 months, I've been, you know, going into drawing a lot more. I've been drawing more consistently, and I'm feeling very confident with it. So it's a lot more satisfying for me. And I'm loving every second. And especially with drawing, you know, on this big pad, using this charcoal, it's very satisfying. And I'm such a monster with the style, and, you know, just finding new styles and finding new techniques. And again, this consistency of this project, the 7 portraits, I love that idea because I know I'll have time to put in work to achieve a newer style, or at least experiment. And I think, you know, it's been going good. This portrait's a little weird, but it's still successful. Day 3, we're almost to the studio. I'm feeling good about the drawing, so I'm gonna go immediately once we're in the studio to draw. I got a meeting at like 11:30, so I about have 90 minutes, plenty of time to rip these drawings because I've been doing them in under an hour. I'm really amped, but we're just gonna maintain this hypeness. It's a beautiful day. The city is finally cold, but it's kind of sunny today, so we're gonna rip. You know, in truth, all 7 of these portraits I took, the photos are very similar. You know, they're different obviously with the facial features, but the lighting is coming from the same side. You know, my hair looks almost the same. It's just slight differences. But although they're super similar, you know, the slight differences is actually a tremendous challenge, because even the burrowing of the eyebrows changes the length of the face, or using my mouth in a weird pose like changes the width, and it makes the comparing of the face really different. So, you know, there is a lot of unity, which you could say is like pretty easy to sort of nail each portrait because you're doing it over and over and you get muscle memory, and I think that's innately true. But, you know, the nuance of the opening the eyes really wide, or the nostrils get flared a little more when you stretch out the face and pull the mouth down, like all these differences is really good practice and challenging to nail throughout this process. So I think it was I think that was one of my favorite parts of this also, and I didn't realize that till this third portrait. It's day 4, it's Thursday, it's about 6 p.m. I'm here actually with Chris. Chris has been here the whole day working on his stuff, but also we had a long day shooting for my merch, like hoodies, you know, just product shots. And I just have so much to edit, so much to do, and I really don't want to draw, but we gotta get it done. And I'm such like an ADD monster when it comes to what I'm into with my art and, you know, what I'm painting. One month it's oil painting, you know, one month it's watercolor, it's photography, and then short films, and then videography. And by the end of the day, I'm doing, you know, 10 different disciplines in like, you know, a few months, which, you know, helps me stay really interested in many facets and I never get bored. But at the same time, it's detrimental to really pursuing one practice really well and really learning it. So that's something I also think about. And it's hard for me to dedicate like a solid 3 months to one thing. I mean, I do that with painting and videography, but there's always like side projects and other things I'm doing that take up a lot of time, 2-3 weeks out of every month, you know? So that's just something I thought I'd say, and I don't know what I was thinking, but that's the rant and that's how I felt. But man, this is a pretty successful portrait. I think my best one. Busy day, Friday. It's about 5:15 at night. I changed the location of drawing setup because earlier today I was filming with an awesome artist visiting who travels the world. So it was a big film day. I had to make a mini set for that, and then I had to break that down, set this up. I want to go home. It's Friday night. I'm here with Ian. So he's still grinding also. I'm still grinding. Gonna do 90 minutes more of work, then go home, enjoy the weekend. Yeah, so this 5th day, this was like the first day where I was really like, oh, I do not want to do this portrait. You know, my weeks are pretty crazy at the studio sometimes. Like, I try to have at least 2 days a week where I have no plans, no meetings, no one coming to the studio, so I can just work on whatever I want to for like 2 days straight. And this week was kind of like that until whatever day this was. I had, 4 or 5 people in the studio leaving. I was doing a video shoot, going on the roof and shooting, and there's so many things to remember and organize and produce that my brain was just scrambled. And then after all that's done, I had to, break down a set, like I said, and build this back up so I can draw. So I really wasn't that into it. I still did it and I still had a good time because I just listened to a podcast and, just draw. It's really not that bad at all. It's actually quite enjoyable. It's just the idea of doing that work on top of all of the other things I have to take care of in the studio. And we're going right into day 6. I thought also that last portrait was my least successful. Day 4 was my most successful. Day 5, least successful. I was so amped throughout the whole thing, even though I was busy, these last days coming up to the weekend, I was like, oh man, like this is the last thing I kind of want to be doing after a busy week. I usually try to take the weekends off. I'm certainly in the studio either Saturday or Sunday. I try to just do 6 days a week. It's easy to do 7. But 1 day a week, I try to just not come to the studio and just escape. But I was really into this technique, like I said, using willow charcoal to start, and then that smudging utensil for pan pastel, and then going over with darker charcoal. Like, I was achieving this value so quickly and I think very accurately, and I was super amped. So that helped me maintain the hype. I was like, all right, like, we're gonna get another awesome portrait and blah, blah, blah. And so that helped me maintain it. But like Saturday, I didn't want to come to the studio. Like, I just wanted to hang with friends. I think I went out that Friday night. Sunday, also, this is Sunday night. I usually like to be in the studio Sunday to prep for my week on Monday and just clean up a little, do random things, clear my desktop, and just be ready for Monday to just go grind mode. But it was a push at the end, and it was also interesting to see the changes of these portraits. Like, you could see how much softer these are compared to the beginning. There's a little more texture. These are way softer. Pretty accurate, I think. I don't know. Really great experience, and I'm happy I did this, although it was kind of intense. And that's all I got. I think that was the last mega rant for these last 3 days, but I thought this was successful. It was definitely, more challenging than I thought, just because it was something looming. I felt pressure, like I had to do it. An hour, per portrait's not that long. You could really squeeze an hour anywhere in the day. It's always more than that. I was saying I was gonna do 2 hours of drawing per self-portrait, but I got it down to an hour. I was super happy with sort of the technique and flow I had, but there's always more things. I had to film it, I have to dump the footage, edit the whole video, so it was just another looming thing on my week, and it was a crazy week, and we got even more crazy weeks coming up. My goodness, I'm sort of blocking this painting behind me, but insanely big projects. I'm doing like 3 huge photo shoots that have to do with painting and other crazy, awesome projects with other YouTubers in the coming months, so it's gonna get weird and wacky. Hopefully you enjoyed. Again, I think you could squeeze in an hour a day to draw more. Try this challenge out yourself. Tag me on Instagram, #SLU self-portrait challenge, and I'd love to see it. See you in the next video.